Rich people can make the rest of us wonder how the other half lives. But today, we're actually going to figure that out. Let's take a look inside the mansions of the richest people on Earth. Elon Musk is currently the richest man in the world, with a net worth of $218.7 billion, according to Forbes. And with that much money to his name, it's no wonder that he acquired so much California real estate. At one point, he owned multiple mansions that were collectively worth over $100 million. One of the most grand of his properties was a gigantic 100-year-old mansion near San Jose. The Hillsborough mansion is 16,000 square feet and sits on 47 acres of land. Musk sold the property in 2021 for a whopping $32 million. The house, built in 1912, is gorgeous and a testament to the early 20th century with white stucco walls and tiled roof. It also features ornate doors, restored 100-year-old windows and doors, curved entryways, and plenty of detailed glass light fixtures. But it's really the black and white checkered floors that complete the old world charm and luxury look. And a tech billionaire can't live without futuristic amenities. In his Hillsborough mansion, these include a hydraulic lift wall that merges the dining room and music room, an interior sound system, and fiber optic cable under the garage. In addition to the main mansion, the property is also home to a 2-bedroom apartment, a pool, and a pavilion, and hiking trails. Aerial photos of the house show the surrounding area is laden with trees and nature, perfect for a hike. After seeing the Tesla Cybertruck, we weren't expecting Elon to have such a classically beautiful house. Jeff Bezos is the third richest man in the world, with a net worth of $133.9 billion. And he's known for having one of the most expensive real estate portfolios in the world, worth approximately $500 million. The most grand in his collection is the Warner Estate. Bezos bought this piece of Hollywood history for $165 million in 2020. It was the most expensive home sale in Californian history. The house is 13,600 square feet and sits on 8 acres of land. The house was built over the course of a decade by film legend Jack Warner, the co-founder of Warner Brothers. It's a Georgian-style mansion with white columns and a fountain in the centre of the motor court. There are antique and ornate fixtures throughout the house, including a cut-glass chandelier in the main living room. Other amenities include a pool, a golf course, 2 guest houses, a formal dining room, a bar, and of course, a screening room. The entire house is an extremely well-preserved antique. There's even a rumour that the wood flooring, imported from Europe, is the same floor Napoleon stood on when he proposed to Josephine Bonaparte. But while Musk and Bezos were out looking for old homes, Bill Gates was looking for something new. Gates bought waterfront property in Medina, Washington in 1988 for a mere $2 million. Then, over the course of 7 years, he spent an additional $63 million to build his estate, nicknamed Xanadu 2.0. This is a reference to the fictional mansion from Citizen Kane. The home is currently worth $127 million. This enormous house is 66,000 square feet and loaded to the teeth with expensive amenities and technology. It was built out of 500-year-old Douglas fir trees by 300 construction workers. It has 7 bedrooms and 24 bathrooms. The entire house is outfitted with a high-tech sensor system. Guests are given a pin to interact with the system, so they can change the temperature and lighting to their liking. There's even speakers behind the wallpaper to allow music to follow you room to room. The walls are also decorated with $80,000 worth of computer screens. Anyone can change the screens to their favourite art or photos. The house includes a health complex, a trampoline room with 20-foot ceilings, a library, 6 kitchens, and a 20-seater home theatre. Outside there's a pool with an underwater sound system, a stretch of beach covered in sand imported from the Caribbean, an artificial stream stocked with fish, and a 23-car garage. Clearly Bill Gates has a flair for the ostentatious, but how else is he supposed to spend his billions? Despite being one of the richest people on the planet, Warren Buffett isn't interested in real estate. In fact, his house of over 60 years is worth 0.001% of his total net worth of approximately $100 billion. Located in a quiet neighborhood of Omaha, Nebraska, lies Warren Buffett's abode. He bought the house in 1958 for a tiny $31,500. In 2022, that's about $250,000. Still nothing to write home about. According to Buffett, it's the 3rd best investment he's ever made. The house is 6,570 square feet with 5 bedrooms and 2.5 bathrooms. Fences and security cameras guard the property. It sits on a corner lot with multiple points of entry, but other than being really nice, the 1921 stucco building is just a family home, and that's really how Buffett wanted it. He says he wouldn't trade the house for anything, and that he's happy there. If he thought he'd be happier someplace else, he would move. He doesn't think his life would be improved by having 10 houses around the world. We find this attitude refreshing. if not a little surprising. The house is currently worth over $600,000, which is not exactly cheap, but now we know. You don't have to be a billionaire to live like Warren Buffett. The frugal attitude is not common among billionaires. Larry Ellison, co-founder of Oracle Corp, currently has a net worth of about $96 billion. He bought a mansion in Newport, Rhode Island in 2010 for $10.5 million. As if that wasn't expensive enough, he then spent an additional $100 million to convert it into a museum. The Beechwood Mansion, which sits on Bellevue Avenue, was once occupied by the famous Astor family. It was built in 1851 and the Astors bought it in 1881. The Beechwood is in the same neighbourhood as the famous Newport mansions, which are now preserved and open for tours. They were once summer cottages where high society would vacation and throw grand parties. It lives up to its luxurious history with large arches over the entrance and pristine landscaping. The property also has a motor court, a large backyard that used to be filled with guests, and a sweeping view of the Atlantic Ocean. And since the house was built in the Gilded Age, it's only right that the decor be detailed and full of gold. Grand chandeliers adorn the ceiling and gold filigree decorates the walls. Plenty of antiques and paintings are also scattered throughout the property. Legend says there's even a ghost haunting the house, but we're sure that's just an urban myth. There seems to be a trend among billionaires to buy properties that come with generations of history. But apparently Sergey Brin, the co-founder of Google, didn't get the memo. His Malibu mansion was built in 2005 by a local attorney and his wife, and was later famously sold to music artist Pink in 2010. After being passed around to a few different wealthy buyers, Brin acquired the property for $13.5 million. The house is 6,300 square feet with 5 bedrooms and 7 bathrooms. It sits on 1.2 acres of land and also features a guest house. It's filled to the brim with amenities. The property gets plenty of privacy from a large gate and tropical trees. Once you enter, there's a grand foyer with a unique crystal chandelier. Further inside is a beautiful dining kitchen with 2 islands, tons of cabinets, and Viking appliances. There's also multiple living rooms with stone fireplaces. Between the kitchen and the main living room is a formal dining area. Upstairs are the bedrooms, including the primary room with stylish ceiling fans, a fireplace, and a huge picture window that takes up an entire wall. The bathroom is warm-toned tile with a walk-in shower, a metal soaking tub, and what looks like a teakwood sink. There's even a home gym. The decor of the house is all white with walnut accents and huge windows that let in tons of natural light. Outside, there's a built-in grill and an outdoor eating area. Then there's the pool with a fire pit and a private cabana. And although the house isn't waterfront, it does come with a key to Little Dune Beach, a small cove that's Malibu's closest thing to a private beach. All in all, Sergey Brin has a Malibu dream house that even Barbie would be jealous of. On the slightly more frugal side of real estate, the other co-founder of Google, Larry Page, has a modest mansion in Palo Alto, California. There isn't a ton of info about his home on the internet. However, we do know that the house is 8,149 square feet with 6 bedrooms and 6 bathrooms. He bought the house for $7 million in 2005. Then a few years later, he built a second home on the property that's about 6,000 square feet and entirely eco-friendly. It has an elevator and green elements like solar panels, a rooftop garden, and pervious paving in the parking lot. Aerial photos of the property also show a pool and a courtyard at the centre of the home. Leave it to the co-founder of a search engine to be one of the most private people on the internet. So far we've seen some pretty incredible properties, but none that could prepare you for Antilia. Antilia is a 27-storey tower in Mumbai, India, that belongs to the richest man in Asia, Mukesh Ambani. It's named after the mystical city in Atlantis and is one of the world's most expensive residential properties to date, second only to Buckingham Palace. The Ambanis literally live like royalty. The house is constructed in a way that makes it look like a Jenga tower right before the game is over. The floors are all different widths to allow for rooftop terraces. Although the house is tall enough to accommodate 60 traditional floors, the high ceilings only allow 27. The bottom 6 floors are all parking lots, with enough space to hold the Ambani's cars. They own over 160. Then the top 4 floors are devoted to hanging gardens. These, along with the solar panels that wrap around the property, are nods to the eco-friendly design of Antilia. And the cherry on top is the helipad on the roof. It feels odd to call a building this large a house, but it is where the Ambanis call home. Inside, there's multiple living rooms, a spa, a temple, a salon, and an ice cream parlour. There's even a grand ballroom where 80% of the ceiling is covered in crystal chandeliers. The most unique feature in the house is the snow room. The room is kept extremely cold and is equipped with a machine that makes artificial snow. Thank goodness they have solar panels. We can only imagine how much it costs to power a room like this. The interior design of the home is derived from the lotus and sun motifs, and the decor is pastel and cream with walnut accents. It may be their house, but if they ever sell it, it'd be ready to go as a 5-star hotel. Seeing these homes is an interesting glimpse into what different people prioritize in their lives. These men have an average net worth of $100 billion, but clearly their lifestyles don't always reflect that.